Welcome to the Authentic Life Connection podcast. I'm your host, Seth Lusk. I'm a master certified life coach, author, personal trainer, and nutrition specialist. For over a decade, I've been helping people with their dreams and goals for their life and health. I spent many years watching people get frustrated with their journey in life and giving up on taking actions towards their goals. So I dug in deep to find answers to why so many of us face this same frustration and struggle in life. So in this podcast, we're going to dive in deep on topics surrounding what it means to consistently live a fulfilling and authentic life, where you are unstoppable in taking action towards your dreams and goals. So the only question is, are you ready to start living your most authentic and fulfilling life once and for all? Then let's get started, shall we? Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. For those of you listening in for the first time, welcome. You picked a fascinating episode to listen in on, and I know I say it and mean it every week. I mean it again this week. And this week, we're going to be talking about something that I think it's okay if you listen in, if this is your first time on this episode. I do have two previous episodes, both last week and the week before, that kind of tie into the topic that we're talking about today. So if you find some of the stuff that we talk about today interesting and you want a little bit more, context surrounding this information, then I would suggest going back and listening to the two previous episodes. Last week where we talked about hustling and it not being at your own expense. And then the week before that, where we talked about what it means to really enjoy life. And when I say that, I mean not just enjoying the parts where we are numbing out or escaping or trying to create some curated emotional experience that is different from our real emotional experience of life in order to take the edge off of our real experience of life. So yeah, this week, what I want to talk with you all about is kind of the difference between what I'm going to say are surviving goals and thriving goals, and why so many people that I talk to and see and hear about in the world today seem to be stuck in this survival mode where their goals are just about surviving. And they don't even let themselves consider the fact that they might have goals that are about thriving in a life in which they're not just surviving. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because, number one, it's super important for every single one of you. And then number two is because I keep getting this response over and over again from quite a few people when I talk about the idea of working with a life coach. Whether it be working with me as a life coach or really just anybody as a life coach. So many people, when I talk to them about this idea of that everyone should be working with a life coach, because I really do believe that every person on this planet, including coaches ourselves, benefit hugely from working with a coach for so many different reasons. And I've done a podcast episode on that before. And yes, I also work with coaches. I have coaches that work with me on my business, my personal life, my coaching style, how I'm showing up in marketing, all sorts of things. So everybody on this planet, I believe, should have a coach in some context, whether that's on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, a bi-weekly basis, twice a week, a daily basis, whatever it is, having a coach is beneficial for everybody. But when I talk to people about this, so often, here's the response I get. Oh, I'm doing just fine. I'm okay. I'm just getting by right now. I'm just trying to get through. Everything's fine. And, I'm just trying to make it to... And they say this as if it's like a reason to justify not having a coach or not wanting to work with a coach. And I find this a little bit... entertaining as well as frustrating, because when I hear this, like I said, they're saying it as if it's a reason to not have a coach. And I'm sitting here thinking, that's exactly why you need a coach. Because if you are, oh, I'm just fine, I'm just getting by, I'm just trying to make it through, or no, I'm okay, everything's good. If that's your life, then you need a coach, because coaches aren't interested in whether or not you're okay. Coaches aren't interested in whether or not you're getting by. That's completely boring for us because that's not what we're here for. Now, granted, it's not like if you're not doing okay that we're not going to be like, okay, well, let's get you to okay, but we don't stop there. My job as a coach, coaches out there, their jobs are not to make sure you're okay. We're here to make sure that you are intentionally creating a life in which you are a badass that is showing up and thriving in that life. that is dreaming so big you're blowing your own damn mind, and then showing up for those dreams unstoppably. That's what we're here for. So yeah, you're okay. That's great. Okay, so that's why you need a coach, because I want to get you from okay and fine and surviving and just making it through to, oh my God, I love my life. I'm excited about every single part of it. It's so challenging, and I love the challenge, and I love all the parts that come along with the challenges, and I love all the parts that also are, playing into my strengths and the things that I enjoy, and I love the parts that are comfortable, but I also love the parts that challenge me and make me a little bit uncomfortable. I want to get you to a life where you love all parts of it. It's challenging you. You're growing, you're expanding, you're loving that life, and you want to be 100% in every part of that life with excitement, motivation, and preparedness, and intention, and authenticity. So if you find that you're one of these people that kind of brushes off self-help, brushes off going to the seminar, brushes off hiring the coach, brushes off setting a discovery call with a coach just to talk to them about what a coach could help you with, brushes off reaching out when you get done listening to a podcast episode, or reaching out when you get done reading a self-help book to put that into action. If you're one of these people that does this because you're like, oh no, I'm doing okay, I'm just fine, this is for all those people out there that aren't doing okay and fine. My friends, no. No. That is not what coaching is here for. Coaching is not for those people that are not doing okay, that are not doing just fine. Coaching is for them as well, but it is more for those of you out there that think, oh yeah, my life is okay, it's good, I'm fine, but you're so busy in the background numbing out from the dreams that you have that you're not going after because you're afraid, and because you think you don't know how to do it, and because you think you're not good enough, and because you think it'll never happen for you, or you think it's not possible for you. Or not even allowing yourself to dream because you don't think it's possible for you, because you're so busy just trying to get by and just trying to survive. That's what coaching is here for, okay? So that's what we're talking about today, surviving and thriving goals. And I want to start off by defining these words for you guys here. So surviving is basically just continuing to exist, remaining intact. So when I hear people tell me, I'm doing just fine, this is what I hear. You're just continuing to exist and remaining intact. And I'm like, congratulations on existing and remaining intact. I'm not here to help you with that. I'm glad you've got that covered. Now, let's move on to the next definition, which is thriving, which is prosperous and growing and flourishing. That's what I'm here for. I'm not interested in you surviving. I'm not interested in you continuing to exist and remaining intact, okay? Like, congratulations that you've got that down. Or that you don't have it down and you're just telling people you have it down and you're still trying to figure it out. Because that's another thing. I hear a lot of people being like, I'm doing just fine. And then I look at their social media and I'm like, really? They tell me they're doing just fine. And then we continue having a conversation and they tell me about their life. And I'm like, that's interesting. That doesn't sound like doing just fine, because everything you just explained to me is like you feel like your life is falling apart right now and you don't know how to hold it together and you don't have a plan. So that doesn't sound like just fine to me. Actually, that sounds like you're still trying to figure out how to survive. And that's kind of what I want to talk with you all about this week, is oftentimes when I talk to people about this and they give me this reason and I'm just like, no, this is not what I'm here for. And so I think that there's a huge misunderstanding of, first of all, what coaching is for, and also the difference between surviving and thriving, and that every single one of you is designed for a life in which you thrive, not just survive. And the truth is that a lot of you out there think, oh no, I just don't have big goals. I'm doing just fine. Life is good. I'm just trying to be happy. And the truth is, you think that it's just, oh, coaching is for those people that have big goals, and not for people like me, who just want to get by in life. The truth is, it's not that some people have big goals and others do not, and that coaching is for those people and not for you. It's not that some people are lazy and others are not. It's not that some people are more ambitious and others are not. What it really has to do with is the focus of the mind. Is the mind focused on surviving, or is it focused on thriving? Is the person with that mind even allowing their mind to consider thriving as a possibility for them, and therefore having dreams big enough to blow their own damn mind? Because why not? That's what we're here for. Get out there and create with this life. YOLO, you only live once. Get out there and do something with that life. Not just trying to numb out and create these false emotional experiences of your life so you can forget about the real emotional experience of your life. Be in that emotional experience of your life and create a life in which you want to be in all parts of it and that you're making some badass shit happen, okay? So that's the real question here, is are you allowing your mind to consider thriving as even a possibility for you? There are so many people that don't. Or are you creating evidence for yourself that thinking about these big goals and thriving is maybe painful or a waste of time or pointless, or maybe you're literally not even allowing a train of thought to process on a conscious level that is saying that it's even possible that the reality of your life could be you dreaming big, thriving, and going after those dreams and making them happen. Some people have literally trained their minds to not even consider the reality of themselves thriving in their own life, dreaming huge, going out there and enjoying being in the process of just making it happen. And it feels like a fact for most of you guys that are living this way. And that it's just something that happens for people like them over there. And I'm not one of those kind of people. And I hear so many of you saying this out loud, and so I have to wonder how many of you are saying this internally and not saying it out loud, and how often those of you who are saying it out loud are saying it to yourself internally. And you think that this isn't affecting how you're showing up in life. My friends, it is. It has a huge impact of how you're showing up in life. So I want to spend time today looking into this because there are some really interesting reasons why this is happening. And there's also something that each and every one of you can be doing about it. One of the biggest reasons why this happens has to do with a person's childhood and upbringing. That is one of the big reasons. And the fact is that many adults who grew up in homes where they watched their parents or the adult figures that took care of them, or their role models, their adult role models, they watch them complain about how hard work is and how much they're having to work and they're still broke and they're still struggling for money and they still can't make ends meet and they're just trying to get by. And these children grow up into adults with a belief and a mindset that making money is hard, life is difficult, and you just need to struggle to get by. I know we've talked about this before, so for some of you this may seem fairly obvious that I'm going to say this right now, but I want to say it here again just to remind you, and for those of you who haven't heard it before, our mindset tells our brain what to look for evidence for in life. So if you go through life with the thought or the belief that making money is hard, and that life is just a struggle to make enough money to just survive and make it through, then guess what your brain will go about searching for evidence for? That making money is hard, and that the goal of life is just to struggle with a lot of work that is hard and unenjoyable just to be able to make enough money to make it through and survive, and then go on your vacations and get to your weekends where you get to numb out and escape that life and complain about it to everybody and talk about how hard it is and how much you need this extra piece of cake and this extra glass of wine and this little pampering over here to forget about the true experience of your life. And you will go about looking for the fact that this is true. This is just a fact for your life. And your brain will find evidence for it. Your brain is a very powerful tool, my friends. But the fact is, most of you are letting it use you instead of you using it. Your brain is a very powerful tool. And you are programming it to look for this kind of evidence. And therefore, that's how you see life. And therefore, that is how you will show up and act in life. And therefore, that is the results you will create in life, my friends. And I know that some of you are going to say, no, this is just true. It really is hard to make money and make enough to survive. And here is what I have to say to that. When we have so many people on this planet that believe that, we create that reality for ourselves. And we accept it as being true because so many other people are saying it. And we allow it to be true for ourselves because so many other people are saying it. But that doesn't mean it's the reality. The truth is, sure, there are some people in the 1% that got handed money. That's true, okay? But the truth is, people that make a lot of money, that work through life, that manifest their dreams and make them a reality in life, they don't look at life this way. They don't see life this way. They see life as an opportunity. Do they see it as a challenge too? Do they see it as something that's going to push them to expand their mindset and grow, and that they're going to have to step out, or that they want to step out there and challenge themselves in the way that they think, and that they're going to hustle and they're going to give it everything they've got, and it's going to feel uncomfortable? Sure, they believe that, but they believe that they're doing this because there is a purpose, because there is an abundance in life that they're out there going after, because they know it's true and it exists and it is possible for them. And that's why they show up in this life unstoppably. It's not because they're a special kind of person. It's because they are believing there is more out there for me. And right now I don't see it because my mind is telling me this is what is true, but I know that there is more to be true, and I'm going to discover it by going out there and challenging the way I see life. Not just accepting the way I see life and living that way. I'm going to challenge the way I see life, and I'm going to love every second of it because I'm choosing it, because I know it pushes me to seeing a reality that I want to see, not having to believe a reality that keeps me stuck and believing I just have to believe this. There is a huge difference. And my friends, money is not in limited supply. Money is not in limited supply. It can't be, because guess what? It's a made-up concept. It's not even a real thing. We have pieces of metal and paper, sure, that represent this concept, but we also have numbers on a card that we hold in our wallet, on a screen, on our online banking, that represent this thing that we call money. It is a man-made imaginary concept that we all accept to be true and use it to buy and trade goods and services, but it is not real. There isn't like a resource out there that's called money that's like, oh, when this is gone, there's no more money. It is a made-up concept, my friends. It is not in limited supply. There is no shortage of it. If the world runs out, guess what? More can be imaginarily made. Money is abundant on this planet. It is the fact that so many people believe that it is not, and therefore their spending and saving habits with money is not in alignment with abundance, that creates the kind of economies that people with this mindset then use to create further beliefs that money is scarce. And therefore the cycle continues. But money is not scarce, my friends. It is not. Granted, it is a lot more complicated than this, so I just want to say this is a very simplified version of it, but the truth is, money isn't scarce. Don't let the politicians, don't let all of the people complaining about how hard it is to make money convince you that that has to be your reality. It is not the truth. Trust me, and there are plenty of other people out there that are willing to tell you this. Money is not scarce. There is plenty of it out there. Get out there and get it. That's the truth. We make it seem scarce with our thoughts and beliefs about it, and with our behaviors surrounding it, and what we're willing to do to ask for our worth. The worth of our work that we put in, what we're willing to do to say, hey, this is what I'm worth, this is what I want to get paid, and if you're not going to give it to me, I will go somewhere else and someone else will. It is being willing to do that that creates that life of abundance that says, okay, that's fine. If you don't want to pay me this, that's okay. Someone else will, and I will move on because there's more out there. This one person is not the only option for you, but so many of you think that it is. And when people believe money is scarce, the way that they approach making money opportunities is with hesitation, anxiety, fear, shame, guilt, so many of these emotions and reactions to these emotions that create results that prove that money is scarce. People who believe money is scarce are timid and afraid to ask for what their work is worth. And therefore, guess what? They get paid less than what their work is worth. And then they let that tell them what their work is worth. And therefore they continue to believe that money is scarce. My friend, money is a tool. It is not scarce. Many big goals and dreams will ask for this tool of money to be abundant for you to be able to take the actions and express those dreams on the scale that your dream of actualizing that dream is on. And if you have beliefs that money is scarce and hard to make, then your actions are going to reflect that, and so will your results. I know this is true because it was true in my life for the longest time, that I felt stuck in jobs that didn't pay me what my work was worth. I felt resentful, I felt frustrated, I felt burnt out, and even angry. But I was also scared to really tell any prospective boss of mine during an interview how much money I was actually looking to make. I never asked for it. I was scared. I let them tell me how much money they were willing to pay me, and then I was like, oh, I guess that's all I'm worth. And then I took it. When I first started my own business, I still believed money was scarce, and I would look at other people who were charging what they were charging for their services, and then I would try and charge like a little bit less than them to make my business attractive so that people would want my services, because I was like, I have to go less than them to make my services worth it. And so I literally was like downselling my own services. I ended up still feeling resentful, burnt out, and frustrated because the truth was that my services were completely different than what anyone else was offering because they were mine. They were coming from me, my expertise, my creativity, my experience, and what I was capable of doing, and they could not be compared to anyone else's. And so I was not asking for the worth of what I could do for a person. And when I accepted that my services could actually be worth more than what the average person in my industry was charging, I started questioning, why was I charging what I was charging? I started exploring what I would be willing to charge if I asked for more money. And so I did. I started asking for more money, and guess what? The people who saw the value of what I was offering, because their mindset was the same as mine, arrived, and guess what they did? They accepted my offer, came to me, and paid for it. I kept doing this until I arrived at a number where I felt like, this is what I want to charge for my services. This is how much I want to be making for my time. And I will make my services so that they provide enough value to be worth that, and I will charge just that. So I did that. And guess what happened? The people who saw the value of my work and what I was offering, they found me. They came to me and they paid me exactly that. And they were happy with what I was giving them for their investment because it was exactly what I told them they would get. I went from being afraid to ask for a raise at a job I did not like in order to be making enough money just to pay my bills and get by, to telling prospective clients in my own business that I love working in, that I get to do my services in my way where I know is the way that I can authentically show up in a person's life and provide value. And with confidence, I can tell them exactly what their investment will be receiving in return for my services, and why my services provided more than the value to make their investment well worth it. I went from being afraid to ask for how much I was worth in a job I didn't even want to having my own job that I created and asking for exactly what I knew my services were worth. But for me to even arrive here, I first needed to change my belief in what was possible for me. I needed to stop thinking in terms of surviving and just trying to get by and start thinking in terms of, this is what it takes to survive here. Here is what I will do to make sure that happens. And then from there, what do I want to create in life to thrive in that life and feel fulfilled? Which then started opening doors to me questioning my own thought and belief systems that kept me in the same cycle of actions with the same results, which were fighting to survive, just trying to get by. And my friends, this brings me to the second reason why so many people get stuck in this survival mode and don't rise and thrive. They don't even see their thriving goals because they don't even get to the point where they're making their survival goals happen. And this is because a lot of people do one of two things. They do not intentionally plan how to meet their survival goals, and/or they don't do it in an authentic and empowered way to meet their survival needs in a way that they want to do so that they allow themselves to even consider and dream what would be possible for them in a life that is thriving, not just surviving. So, like I said, I see this reason right here manifest in two different ways in people's lives. Either they are inauthentic in how they're trying to have their survival needs met, and they're so inauthentic that they keep getting to a place of so much frustration and so much resentment that they end up going back to actions that hinder their survival needs being met, or that cause them to take actions that pull them further away from the life that they want to be living in because they're numbing out on food or alcohol or shopping and spending all their money, gaining all the weight, feeling tired and exhausted and mentally foggy all the time because they're hungover and just not sleeping well from drinking alcohol, because believe it or not, guys, alcohol affects your sleep. Even one drink before bed affects your sleep. Anyways, moving on. So I see this happening. So many people numbing out and escaping their life because they're trying to meet their survival needs in such an inauthentic way that they hate their life. So thinking about thriving is not even an option for them because they can't even survive in a way where they don't just hate their life and hate themselves and feel miserable and like, I just have to and I need to, and their life is just a bunch of shoulds and has to and needs tos, and there's nothing authentic and exciting in their life. My friends, meeting your survival needs can be exciting. It can be authentic. It can be fulfilling. So the other way that this manifests is that people do not plan at all how to meet their survival needs. And they just keep going out in life and taking actions with no planning, no direction, and hoping that eventually life or the circumstances or people in it make it easier for them to meet their needs or meet them for them. So I want to look at these two ways in which this reason for being stuck in survival manifests, and I want to talk about these. So the first path is this inauthentic action path, where people are basically taking actions that are inauthentic to meet their own survival needs. And I want to say, my friends, I get it. You might be panicking that you do not know how to meet your survival needs, so you just grab whatever comes your way. Okay, so if you are in this boat, you did not do something wrong. Okay, I don't want you to feel like you did something wrong here. That's not the point of talking about this. But this is not your continued path forward, okay? There is an empowered path that is authentic for you to meet those needs. And I want you on that path instead of this inauthentic path of just grabbing whatever comes your way because you're so terrified that if there's not enough out there, so you just have to take whatever life gives you in order to meet your needs. And then just complain about it and then numb out of your life and escape your life with food, alcohol, shopping, porn, sex, television, movies, social media, whatever it is, because, life is just so hard and it's just giving you all the stuff that you don't want, but you have to do it because it's the only way you can get by. My friends, no, there is a path where you can authentically meet your needs in an empowered way that feels fulfilling for you. So when we talk about meeting survival needs, I'm talking about meeting needs like sleep, food, shelter, water, warmth, safety, security, belonging. When we panic and go about meeting these needs with any sort of hint of something that we think will meet those needs for us, we end up choosing ways to meet those needs that go against our core values, that go against or brush up against our core sensitivities in a way that feels really inauthentic for us and energetically wrong for us. And so we feel this frustration in our life. We feel this this hollowness in our life. And so what do most people do? They just go home and they eat food to numb away that feeling. And they think that, oh, this is just life, and this is how we get pleasure. We come home and we eat food, and then the rest of life just kind of sucks. But we get this, right? This is the enjoyment of life. But the truth is, the reason why you feel that way and want to go home and eat this food to feel pleasure is because you're not paying attention to how you're inauthentically meeting your survival needs. And that there is an option to meet them in an authentic way that fulfills you. So you don't go home at night needing the alcohol, needing the food to escape and numb out of your life, needing the social media to escape and numb out of your life, needing the going out with friends to escape and numb out of your life, needing the television and the social media to escape and numb out of life, needing the porn, the shopping to escape and numb out of life. You don't need that, because guess what? Even meeting your survival needs is fulfilling for you. Meeting your survival needs in a way that goes against your values and sensitivities is going to keep you in a cycle of feeling like your life is horrible and you just have to survive to get by until you can escape or numb out. And then these escape behaviors come with a price on the other side that actually moves you further from having those survival needs met in an authentic way. And so you just feel more and more stuck in your life and frustrated in your life, and like you just need more and more of these escape and survival behaviors to feel okay in it. And my friends, this isn't the only reality of life. This doesn't have to be true for you. There is another way. I promise you. The other side of this is that even if you get the survival needs met in this way, you feel frustrated, unfulfilled, and like you're spending all of your time just doing things that you should be doing, have to be doing, need to be doing, instead of doing the things that you actually want to be doing. And then what do? You escape and numb out with these behaviors that pull you further from that feeling of the fact that you're doing things that you want to do, and like you have a life in which you're not only surviving, but you can also create thriving in. And I want to show you today that when you take the time to dive in, to press pause, look at what you're doing in your life. Stop trying to numb out of it and get away from it. Get in that life. Feel the uncomfortable feelings, all of them. Stop trying to numb them out. Stop trying to take the edge off of them, and understand and study and learn from your core values and sensitivities. That you have a life mission that is based in purpose and values that you have not had the time to look at because you haven't given it to yourself. You keep convincing yourself you're too busy trying to survive to look at that. You have key roles in your life that are authentic for you, that you want to lay out and prioritize. And when you take the time to do this, then you get to approach meeting your survival needs in a way that is aligned and authentic. And your core values and sensitivities are woven into them in a way where they are just aligned and flowing through them. And your day is filled with activities that you see as things that, yeah, maybe they're challenging, but they're important for you and you want to do them. They're not urgent things that you have to, should do, and need to do. You approach life and meeting your survival needs with a whole new energy. But also you're able to plan how you want to meet those needs. And you're able to do it in a consistent way without all of the yo-yoing and the panicking and the numbing out and the escaping and the feeling like you're out of control in your life. And why can't I keep the weight down? And why can't I get good sleep? And why is it that I am drinking so much and I don't feel good, but I can't stop doing it? None of that anymore. None of this, I just want to get by. And until you take the time to look and see that this is because you are so busy out there trying to rush into something to make you feel better that you don't even realize that you have the power to understand why you feel this way in your life and change it. And change it not only like in resistance. I'm not talking about in resistance to how you feel. I'm talking about understanding what you are creating in your life and why it's making you feel this way, and why you have the power to change it in a way that is authentic for you to create a life in which you are excited to show up for the parts that challenge you, excited to show up for meeting those survival needs. So you can get to the point where the idea of creating a life that you want doesn't seem so far off. Because right now, I know it looks like such a distant reality for you. And you program yourself to stay stuck in this loop of brushing off any idea of possibility and just keep numbing out, just keep eating the food. All those people over there that are trying to shame you for it, they're not trying to shame you. You're shaming yourself. They're trying to tell you that there's another possibility out there, and you're allowing your brain to convince you that you should feel ashamed and go eat a piece of cake, go get another drink. Because how dare they shame you, right? But the truth is, you're not showing up in your life, my friend. And you have the power to do it. And that's not me trying to shame you. If you feel ashamed, then think about why you feel ashamed. I want you to think about what it is that you are doing in your life, that your brain is like, hey, listen, you can do more here. Stop doing this to yourself. Stop just trying to get by. Stop eating so much food because you feel pleasure with it and thinking that that's the only way to feel pleasure in your life, when you could be doing all of these magnificent dreams that you have that you keep brushing aside and saying aren't possible for you, and you just keep eating the food, drinking the alcohol, watching the TV, scrolling through social media, and blaming everybody else for why you feel the way you feel about yourself and your life. And then thinking that this whole thing that I keep telling you guys about authenticity is something to just like, oh, that's not important. I just have to get out here, keep eating the food, keep doing what feels good for me. And, body positivity, love my body. No, that's not body positivity and loving your body, my friends. Taking care of your body in an authentic way and letting it be the weight that it would be when you actually take care of it, not when you're eating food to try and numb out emotions. That is loving your body. That is body positivity. Not eating whatever you feel like eating because you feel uncomfortable in your life, because you're trying to create a feeling in your life through food because you don't know how to create it for yourself by showing up in your life with all the dreams and all the goals that you have, that you're afraid to set for yourself because you're afraid of feeling the shame and guilt that you've been piling on yourself, not the other people, not the world around you. And I want to show you how you can look at that shame and guilt and see that it's there because there's a big and beautiful dream inside of you. And you have not been allowing yourself to see that you can love yourself unconditionally through the journey of going after that goal. It's not that you have to hurry up and get to a result before you can love yourself. But also, loving yourself doesn't mean you just stay stuck in this I'm just trying to get by and enjoy life mode either. And I know you think that what I'm teaching you guys here is something that's a luxury for some people to consider, but right now, no, it's not for you. because you've got to hurry up and get out there and make stuff happen and make people accept you so that you can feel better about yourself and change behaviors and change the way other people behave. And that authenticity is a luxury for other people that aren't in your situation. My friends, authenticity is not a luxury that you create for yourself once you figure out how to make people like you, or once you figure out how to make the money, or once you figure out how to survive, or once you figure out how to get the car or the house or the body or the clothes or the whatever it is or the money. My friends, no. It's not something you create for yourself once you figure out how to survive, once you figure out how to love yourself. It is essential to creating a consistent path of survival that is fulfilling, that shows you that you get to love yourself right now and through all of the challenges of going after those big dreams of yours that you've been telling yourself you're too scared to go after and thrive in your life. And this is why I coach in authenticity. I don't do it only to help people that are already thriving in life. I do it to help people just like you get out of survival mode and into a position in life where you are consistently creating your survival with authenticity and fulfillment, and then you thrive in that life that you are creating, that you are excited to be in all parts of it, even the parts with the actions that meet the survival needs. So a lack of authenticity and the way a person plans on meeting their survival needs is one way in which a person gets stuck in survival mode. The other side of this is this right here. You might be someone where you think, oh, no, I'm not planning. I'm not doing all of that planning stuff. I'm just going with the flow. I'm just going to see where life takes me. I don't like all of that planning and that restriction of planning. And my friends, here's what I got to say to that. Planning is freedom. It's only restriction when you're coming from this disempowered, learned helplessness state. It is coming from that perspective of just trying to get by. Planning is not restriction. When you have your survival needs planned, when you have your life and your mind managed, and you have it planned in a way where the things that are important for you are prioritized and your needs are met, my friends, that is freedom. Because then you get to explore and you allow yourself to explore with so much more curiosity, so much more tenacity. That is freedom. So you might be one of these people out here that you're not planning at all to meet your survival needs, and you're just flying by the seat of your pants and saying, YOLO, just trying to enjoy life. No, I don't do planning. I like to be spontaneous. And you know what the thing is? Spontaneity is a byproduct of planning. If you're not planning and you think you're being spontaneous, you're not being spontaneous. That's not spontaneity. Spontaneity is what happens when you have your life planned and you've got all of your needs met and you're like, this looks interesting. I have the resources and the abundance in my life to say, guess what? I'm going to do it. It looks like fun. I've got the resources. I've got the abundance. I'm going after it. It wasn't what I had exactly planned for right now, but guess what? I want to do it. I want to see what happens when I do this. That is a result of planning, my friends. That is not a result of not planning. So if you think you're this person that's going to get through life without planning and just be like, oh, I'm a spontaneous person, you're not being spontaneous. You're avoiding your life is what you're doing. That is called avoidance. That is not spontaneity. Okay? So I want to get that cleared up first. But if you are one of these people out here just flying by the seat of your pants in a life, hoping that life eventually gets easier for you eventually, and that situations in your life and people in your life get easier so that you can take actions to meet your survival needs, and you keep blaming life and you keep blaming other people for why it's so hard for you to just get by, and then you spend your time trying to escape that life because it's so hard to survive in, and I just want to be spontaneous and YOLO, and you avoid planning because of this. You avoid planning any way to meet your survival needs because you believe that there's no point and that that's restriction because life is just too hard. If this is you, I want you to understand that this is what is keeping you stuck in that feeling of, I'm just trying to get by. Why is life so hard? Why can't I meet my needs? Why am I struggling to just get by? You believe that life is too hard and that you can't plan how to meet your survival needs because life is too hard. But the truth is right now, you just don't know how to. But that's because you haven't been planning. And because you have this idea that somehow something out there is going to happen and it's going to make life easier for you. And then it's just going to happen for you. You're just going to, all of a sudden, life's going to plan itself for you. And so you keep yourself stuck in this state because you haven't gotten out there and practiced. You haven't allowed your mind to explore the option of how you might actually plan and create the results of your survival needs in your life. And so therefore, of course, you don't know how. You're not going to know how until you get out there and start exploring plans. Planning, trying them out, seeing what happens, adjusting the plans, doing it again, adjusting the plans, doing it again, until guess what? You figure out your how-to. But so many of you out there are believing that you just don't know how to, and that it's some people out there know how to do this, but you don't. And my friends, this is a symptom of a fixed mindset, in which the trait of knowing what to do to survive is something that some people have, and some people are good at, and that others are not, and you're just one of those people that are not. And so you just have to wait around and be spontaneous, quote unquote, and YOLO, quote unquote, and that's you trying to just get by and enjoy life, and then you numb out and escape, and then wonder why you're not making any progress towards any of your goals in life. I know that there are so many of you out there in this state and with this mindset. I know because I used to think this way, and I had a lot of friends who did, and I'm sure a lot of them still do. So I want you to hear me when I tell you I'm not talking from a space of looking down or judging. I am speaking to you from a space of knowing what it's like to feel stuck there and being annoyed, feeling so annoyed at anyone who would suggest that I could be creating something different in my life, because that suggested that I would choose that life that I was already living in, that I felt so miserable in, that I just wanted out of. And that made me infuriated that someone would suggest that I would choose that life. It wasn't until years later that I figured out that this anger was my brain using me to avoid looking into the uncomfortable feelings I was having when someone would tell me that I could do more. Because if I looked into those feelings and saw the fear that I was feeling, and therefore getting angry because I felt fear, if I looked into that fear, I could solve for it. Because I could finally figure out what it thought it was protecting me from, and how that was keeping me stuck. And that when I solved for that fear, I would be living a totally different life, making choices that my brain had no idea what life would be like. And my brain was convinced that it was dangerous, because it didn't know how to be in that life, and what was going to be there to protect me from, or how to do it. So it felt safer just telling me, oh, no. Don't look at all that over there that's coming up when this person is telling you can do more. Just get angry. Make excuses. Instead of leaning into this, get angry and make excuses. Explain to this person why you can't and why that's not possible and blah, 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 blah. And avoid making any sort of plan to make it possible. Just get angry and run away and shame them for telling you that you could do otherwise. That was my brain literally, it was in fight or flight mode, trying to, with the most urgency, convince me not to look at why I felt uncomfortable when people told me that I could do something more with my life. So my friends, I am speaking from experience here. I know that feeling. I know that some of you out there, when you listen to my podcast episodes, you get pissed off at me because you're like, how dare he say that I could do something different? How dare he say that I would choose this life? You know, I get the feeling because I was right there with you, my friends, and I'm here to tell you, you are choosing it, and there is more that is possible for you, and you don't have to feel shame and guilt. You don't have to, actually, you know what, you can feel shame and guilt, and if you are feeling it, feel it, but you don't have to use that shame and guilt to be what drives you into creating a new life. There is a way to look into that shame and guilt, find what you think it's protecting you from, and then from a space of love and compassion, launch yourself into a totally new life. And I want to show you how to do that. That's the space I'm coming from here. Not trying to shame you, not trying to judge you. I want to show you I've been exactly where you are. I know the intense feelings that you have right now. I know all of the excuses and the intensity of those excuses and the anger and the frustration behind them and how much you're just wanting to hit me in my face right now while I'm telling you this. I get it. And I'm laughing right now because I'm imagining I would want to hit me in the face just 10 years ago if I was hearing me talk on this podcast right now. So I get it. I totally get it. For me, it felt safer to just get angry and make excuses instead of leaning in and seeing where I was choosing to stay in certain patterns and why I was doing that, because I thought it was protecting me from something that I believed I needed protected from. And once I realized what it was that I was thinking I was protecting myself from, I could find other ways to create safety and security for myself that didn't involve me holding me back from the life that I wanted. But what I had done up until that point is I was just letting the sentence in my head dominate my life. The sentence that other people just have it easier than I do. And don't understand that I can't do anything more with my life until someone else or something else makes it possible for me. I wouldn't choose this life. It's just happening to me and I want out. And I need someone else to get me out of this. And other people just don't get that because they've got it easier than me. That was the sentence in my head. And I let my primitive brain run my life by this sentence and convince me that I had to sit around in anger and resentment until circumstances or someone else came to save me. And I sat in learned helplessness for so many years. And I want for those of you doing this to wake up. Not wake up and shame and guilt yourself and beat yourself into being like, oh, I'm such a horrible, stupid person and I've got to do better and flog yourself into a better life. No, that's not what I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you that there is a way to lean into all of this and learn to love yourself right exactly where you are and learn the amazing person that you are underneath all of these layers of resentment and anger that you've taken on beautifully to try and protect yourself. And I want to show you that beautiful person that you're trying to protect and why that person is worth all of that protection, but there is a way to do it in which you're not trapped, in which you become unstoppable in creating a life that you love being in. And for me, it was only after I realized that I was letting this sentence run my life and letting my brain use me, and to realize that there was nothing broken about me. I just had a brain that was hardwired to do what a brain does. And I was not taught to see that. I wasn't taught to see that there was something I could do to where I told my brain what we were doing instead of it telling me what was not possible for me. It was after being able to see this that I finally allowed myself to explore what was truly important for me and what it would look like planning my survival needs in a way that was authentic to what was important to me and what that would even look like. And that it was okay to make a plan and it not work. And that it was okay to make a plan, and sure, I'm going to feel restricted at first, but it's not that I'm actually restricted. It's that I'm opening up new possibilities in life and I'm letting go of things that don't serve me. I'm not restricted from not following those things that don't serve me. That was the belief that I had. Once I realized I'm not restricted by giving up those things were holding me back. Once I learned that I could make a plan, and if it doesn't work, I could just adjust it and step forward again, and again, and again, and again, until the plan worked. It was this realization right there, and then me choosing to take responsibility and to manage my own mind and to use it as a tool for me instead of letting it use me, that set me free into being able to take action to meet my survival needs and then explore that I could do it in a way that was authentic and fulfilling for me. It didn't have to be this miserable, struggling process of just working my butt off to just make it through until I got a break or a day off or a weekend or a vacation where I could finally enjoy life by escaping. When I could see all of this, I finally allowed myself to see I was actually able to create a life in which I enjoyed all parts of it. I didn't need to escape. I didn't need to numb out. And that I could actually, in that life, dream so big that I blew my own damn mind and then show up, manage my mind, take authentic actions, and make it my reality. And my friends, I want this for all of you. Whether you feel stuck in old patterns because of what you saw your parents doing and so you think that's reality because that's what your parents taught you, or whoever your role models were growing up, or if you're stuck in planning your survival needs in such an inauthentic way that you're in cycles of just trying to get by or just trying to make it through or just trying to be happy or just trying to survive in life, just get through until you can grab any chance of condensed pleasure so that you can escape that life because it's so hard, so difficult for you, it's so stressful for you. And you believe that these condensed moments of pleasure are how you enjoy life and that you must have them to enjoy life. But the more you chase those moments of condensed pleasure, the more you feel out of control in your life and like you're stuck, getting further and further away from the possibility of even considering thriving in life. So you think you just want to survive and not feel awful about yourself all the time because of the weight that you keep gaining, or because you're feeling awful and tired from the alcohol you keep convincing yourself that you need to keep drinking to get by in your life. I was there, right there with you, and that this is the only way that you can enjoy your life. So you drink and you drink and you keep pushing dreams aside because you just want to get through, and drinking is how you do that. And that's what you believe. And you feel frustrated and angry at anyone who tells you that you're making this by choice and that you can choose differently and that it doesn't have to feel restricted and horrible and about resistance and about getting over your urges and fighting them and willpowering through. That's not what this is about. Like I said, I get it. I was right there with you. And the truth is, You are making this choice. But it's not because you're lazy or broken or stupid or even ignorant. It is simply programming in your brain because your brain is biologically wired with a negativity bias and to fear the uncertain, to fear what is uncomfortable, and to convince you to stay away from it because it will kill you. It is simply programming in your head that you have not allowed yourself to see is just part of having a brain, but it's not serving you anymore. And guess what? You have the power to reprogram it. You have the power to change the sentences in your head that keep convincing you to make these actions of eating, drinking, binging on TV, social media, porn, whatever it is, and keep shopping and buying stuff to get that dopamine hit. Meanwhile, you're panicking about financial stability and convincing yourself that you can't plan a life of your dreams based on financial stability because you authentically don't know how to create it for yourself. I was right there with you. I can literally still close my eyes and remember and feel what living in that reality feels like. I know the feelings of frustration, anger, resentment, panic, anxiety, shame, guilt, avoidance. I can feel them every time I think about this. I know the heavy desire to find anything to blame in life that is not you, because the life you're in feels so miserable for you that you feel like if you realized that you were choosing this, that you would have to feel so horrible about yourself. So you feel this strong, urgent, heavy desire to blame anything but yourself. But this isn't about blame, my friends. I'm not saying you are to blame. You have been doing the best you know how to do, and I am here to show you how to dig past that layer into showing you that you're capable of doing much more and creating for yourself much more when you manage that beautiful mind of yours that is so strong and so powerful, that has taught you how that you just need to fight to survive. That same tool you can use to create an authentic and fulfilling plan in which you meet your survival needs and then dream so big. Like I said, you blow your own damn mind. You blow your own damn mind with what is possible for you in this life to not only survive, but to thrive. To have a life where you don't just get by the parts of your life to get to the concentrated moments of pleasure. No, you're in a life in which you thrive and enjoy all parts. The comfortable, the uncomfortable, the work, the leisure. You enjoy all parts of it because all of them serve a purpose that you see and you chose with intention, and you are creating it with intention and authenticity and fulfillment. There's one more side to this that I want to mention today. And maybe I'll do a podcast in the future about this, a full episode. I haven't decided yet if I want to do a full episode on this, but maybe I do, to dive in deeper on this topic. But today I just want to mention this here because it's something that I work a lot with on my clients, and it's really important to the work that we do together. When you feel stuck in survival mode and you're trying to create a life where you're thriving, but you don't know yet how to meet your survival needs, so you come at these, you see these other people on social media making these big goals, and you're like, oh yes, I'm going to do that. I'm going to manifest this. And you make your vision boards and you make your dreams and your goals, and you're like, oh God, I've got to hurry up and get there because, my life feels so horrible. And just when I get there, I'm going to finally feel better. And when you come at your goals, the big goals in life, first of all, most of these aren't even going to be your real goals once you actually understand yourself authentically. But when you go after these goals and you haven't met your survival needs yet, then you come at these goals with an energy of neediness that will actually push away those goals energetically. To manifest and create the true, authentic dreams in your life, they're on an energetic plane of abundance and self-love and unconditional self-worth. And on that plane, you're not vibrating on that plane. If you've not chosen to take the time to pause and stop trying to change stuff out there. Stop trying to get the body so that people will like you. Stop trying to get the car so people will like you. Stop trying to get the house and the money and the job and everything else out there that are going to get people to like you. If you haven't chosen to take the time to understand yourself and know your authentic values and sensitivities and then meet your survival needs with that authenticity through unconditional self-worth and self-love, then you are not vibrating on the frequency of abundance when you come at these goals with this needy urgency of, I have to make this happen. In order to be happy in life, I just have to make it to be good enough to survive so that people will like me. That energy literally pushes this away because that goal, that dream is on another plane of vibration that you're not on. You will energetically push everything away that would actually help you be able to take actions to do these things consistently, to create those results in your life. And you're pushing it away because the universe is telling you, you're not ready for this yet. Because you haven't seen the abundance in life, and that you can very much just slow down, stop, look at where you are, be where you are, and be in that space with so much love, so much authenticity, so much fulfillment and compassion. And truly see what you want in life, not because that's gonna make you feel better in life, or other people are gonna see what you're doing and make you feel better in life, or it's not coming from that energy. It's coming from the energy of knowing who you truly are and the beautiful dreams of how that person wants to express that in this life. But they don't have to do it because they know that they're already that person. These dreams become an expression, not a means to feel better. And when these dreams become an expression of who you are, then guess what? You're vibrating on the plane in which you can create them. But right now, you think these dreams are what's going to make you the person that feels better, that's able to achieve these dreams. But my friends, you've got to realize already that feeling you want to feel about yourself is what you need to learn to create for yourself to be able to show up in your life and be the person that creates those dreams. I tried to do this for many years, my friends, going after big dreams that were about thriving and abundance in life, and I was in such a hurry to get there thinking that this would finally make me love myself, make me want to take care of myself. I was in such a hurry for this that I refused to slow down and look at where I was neglecting my survival needs, look at where I was neglecting my relationship with myself, look at where I was looking for things out there to make me feel good about myself. In pursuit of these dreams where I was buffering and numbing out and escaping in my life the way it actually was, because I was just like, oh no, I gotta resist this life until I'm there and then I'll feel good. I was so busy trying to hurry up and make something big happen in my life that I needed in order to be able to love myself and my life and be good enough. And I watched as opportunity after opportunity slipped right through my hands. Watched as the actions that I took led me nowhere except for feeling more like I just wanted to escape my life until it got better for me to feel good in it. I was literally pushing my own dreams away energetically while thinking I was chasing them. My friends, understanding yourself, getting in deep in that relationship with yourself, and then having authentic plans to meet your own survival needs, this is not a luxury that you get to do once you meet those needs. It is essential to meeting those needs and being able to go after your wildest dreams and to be able to take the consistent actions towards them and create consistent results in your life. My friends, you're not going to stay consistent if you're waiting for that goal to make you feel good enough about yourself, because on the journey to that goal, you're going to face feelings of rejection and shame and guilt. And if you are waiting for the world to make you not feel shameful and guilty about yourself, and you're not learning how to lean into that and be like, that's okay that I feel this. I know where it's coming from. I can process it. I can be with that emotion. I can love myself right now and then take another step forward. You're not going to do that. If you're thinking that the dream, the goal, the achieving it is what's going to make you feel good enough. My friends, so many of you out there are stuck in this mode of surviving. You won't even consider the idea of thriving, and when people bring up the idea of doing something that would move you towards that, you have every excuse in the book of why you don't need it. You're doing just fine. You're doing okay. You're just trying to get by. You don't have big goals. Whatever the excuse may be, it is an excuse. It is your brain using you. I want you to see that today. And my friends, you are worth so much more than just trying to get by and survive. You are also worth taking the time to get to know you, truly pause and get inside and build that life from the inside out. Stop trying to hurry up and get out there to build something to make you feel better on the inside. Build from the inside out. Make an authentic plan once you have that authenticity inside of you and you know how amazing you are. Make that plan from that space where you meet your survival needs, so that you can go out into the world and dream so effing big that your mind is just blown every damn day at how much you show up in that life and love it and make those dreams your reality. And you love the process, the struggle, the challenges along the way, because you love yourself through all of them, not just once you get a result. My friends, if you find yourself stuck in this excuse making, in this survival due to taught patterns, due to inauthentic planning and then escaping, or due to not planning and then believing you can't plan or shouldn't plan it because that's restrictive. So you just escape and escape. It doesn't matter the reason why. What I want you to understand is there's nothing wrong with you. And there is a way to break the cycle. And it begins with authenticity. It begins with getting to know the real you and what that amazing person wants in this life, based in what is truly important for them at the core of their being. And that's you. You have that in you. I want to show you how to find it. I want to show you how to bring it out into this world and use it to plan in the most authentic and fulfilling way, to create freedom, to execute and thrive in your life, and to do it unstoppably. It's time to rise and thrive, my friends. I'm here to coach you through it. All you have to do is reach out and take that step. Stop making excuses. Stop convincing yourself, no. If that's not for you, it's okay. Just stay over here. I know you feel that panic inside of you right now. You feel that panic while you're considering the idea of reaching out and clicking that button to book the discovery call. I'm here to coach you through it. Just reach out, take the step. I know it feels impossible for you right now. I know it feels useless. I know it feels panicky right now. I know you feel anger and fear right now when you consider it. But I promise you, you are made for what I talked about today. You are made for this thriving. Rise and thrive. And I'll see you again here next week. Ciao. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the content of this podcast. If you did, please subscribe so that you're one of the first people to know when I release a new episode each week. If you have any questions, or if you have interest in learning more about the coaching that I do with my clients one-on-one, then just head over to my website at www.lifecoachseth.com. That's www.lifecoachseth.com. There you're going to have the ability to reach out to me for questions that you might have, or to book your free discovery call with me to discuss what one-on-one coaching with me might be like for you. You can also check out and order your copy of my book to get a taste of what I'm all about as a person and as a coach. I'm so happy that you joined us today, and I hope to have you here again next week. So until then, let authenticity be the guide to your most unstoppable and fulfilling journey of life.